Hello everybody, it's me Nate aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Mortal Kombat 1. It was developed by NetherRealm Studios and published by Warner Brothers and released on September 19th of 2023 for the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox. Now, before I get started, I am not going to talk about the Nintendo Switch version. I know the big bug-eyed version. No, this is strictly based off the PS5 version. There will be no spoilers in it, and there will be no gore. I'm sorry, people. Stay tuned in the future for maybe a gore video on this, but I want to actually be able to monetize this, so I cannot show you no fatalities or gore. So, any sort of game footage will be early on in the story mode and some normal fights, and please respect me for the fact that I have to do it that way, because this game is quite nasty. But before I get started, let me go into a short synopsis of what they say about this game. It's in our blood. Discover a reborn Mortal Kombat universe created by the fire god Liu Kang. Mortal Kombat 1 ushers in a new era of the iconic franchise with a new fighting system, game modes, and fatalities. Features a new universe. Discover a new beginning as crafted by the Keeper of Time and Protector of Earthrealm, Fire God Liu Kang. Origins reimagined. Familiar characters return with all new intertwined histories, interacting in brand new ways. That's actually a pretty good way to put this. This is somehow a direct sequel of Mortal Kombat 11. So instead of calling it Mortal Kombat 12, they're just calling it Mortal Kombat 1, because at the end of Mortal Kombat 11, Liu Kang becomes an Elder God. Spoiler alert, he becomes an Elder God, and he takes over Kronika's time, whatever the hell it is, and he resets time and rebuilds a new world. So the story mode in this takes place with developing characters from the original Mortal Kombat series, showing you stuff like Kung Lao and other characters as they go on their path to learn in order to join the Mortal Kombat series. It's got a lot of stuff with Shang Tsung and everybody else in it. So honestly, I will say this, and I have to agree. My one friend said he's not interested in this game, and I asked him why, and he very clearly told me it's the same game. And I'm like, well, is it? You look at people that pay full price every year for Madden. Is this really the same game? And if you dive deep down into it, does it actually have enough tweaks and changes to the fundamental gameplay from last year's game that actually warrants a full price? Yes, they added in this weird tag team feature where when you're in the middle of a match, you can tap a trigger button and bring in your alternate character, your cameo character. They can jump in and actually fight for a little bit, but you don't control them. They come in, it's like automated where they punch a couple times and leave. Now, besides that, the only real thing other than your standard tower mode, your online mode, has a creator mode where you can actually tweak your characters based on items that you unlock as you play through the game. It's got your crypt mode like the original one did. So all that's great and fine and dandy, but when you sit down and you look at it, the only real difference between this and the last game of Mortal Kombat 11 is the fact it's got a different roster, different backgrounds, and a different single-player story. Honestly, they say they tweaked a lot of stuff with the fighting mechanics, and while it seems to have some stuff that's buttoned up, a little bit quicker on the response times and stuff like that, and reversals, honestly, it is fundamentally the same exact game from the last one with new characters. Now, as for the story mode, it consists of roughly a 4 to 5 hour adventure through, I think, close to 15 chapters as you go through and find this new story with these characters. And that by far is the best aspect of this. The story mode in this has always been great. Everything else, don't get me wrong, it's classic Mortal Kombat. It's fast, it's fluid, it works great. The matchmaking is actually pretty decent. I've only had a couple times where I had an issue with matchmaking where it failed to actually link up. And the one time is because my internet crashed. So I can't blame the game for that. That was my own internet. But honestly, the game itself, if I stop and look at it and go, okay, does this warrant a $70 price point? For Nintendo Switch players, it's a definite no. That should have been a $29.95 game. Seriously, the big bug-eyed looking characters with no detail on it. The fact they even came out with it on Switch, come on, people. Because the fact of the matter is, when you download this and install it, it is a 114 gigabyte file. No joke. This puts Call of Duty to shame in terms of overall size of the file. Over 114 gigs to install this. And while visually I could be like, okay, I see a lot of stuff with this, I don't see 114 gigs. I really don't. I really don't. That boggles my mind. And when you sit down and you actually play this, and you think, is this really worthy of another full price title of $70 for this title? For basically a new 4-hour story mode and some alternate characters that seem almost like an expanded DLC of Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat 11, I'm sorry. Honestly, it comes off to me like almost like an expanded DLC of Mortal Kombat 11. It really does. The characters look great. They play great. The voice acting is pretty good except for one person I'm not going to talk about. And one thing I got to point out is the fact that they actually got Jean-Claude Van Damme to play Johnny Cage in this. Yes, no joke. Apparently, Jean-Claude Van Damme was someone they wanted to play Johnny Cage in the original arcade version of Mortal Kombat 1, but they didn't have enough credibility at the time, and Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, I do not know you, I will not do it. So they weren't able to do it, but they finally, since they got enough credibility making games, and Mortal Kombat being a massive multi-billion-dollar business, finally was able to get Jean-Claude Van Damme to actually be Johnny Cage in this. But don't worry, you can play as the original one if you want as well. But it is actually a welcome addition, and I do like the fact that they were able to finally do this. The fact of the matter that it's kind of like a reboot, yet it's somehow still a sequel. The story, while it's got its hit and misses, it's still very entertaining, because let's be honest, how many times can you come up with excuses as someone like bumping you in a bar and getting into a fight and round one, fight, finish him, fatality, and afterwards you drink a scotch with him. I mean, seriously, it's got the bone breaks back again. A lot of the fatalities are pretty cool and over the top. A lot of them, some of them are kind of lame. Some of them seem like palette swaps of other fatalities, but at the end I can't really get into that and actually complain about it, because I have to say the fact that they show Kung Lao and these other characters as they develop, as they rebooted the series like this is the beginning of Mortal Kombat 1 but a new complete version of it leading into the tournament, honestly I kind of don't have a problem with that. The story mode has always been one of the best features of these games, along with the fighting mechanics. And the fighting mechanics seem to be tweaked enough to where they're a little bit quicker and snappier, but it is fundamentally the same game as last time, with a new set of levels in the background and some different characters brought back. Honestly, really, other than the story mode being the main tie-in with this, it does honestly, to me, feel like it could have been an expansion of Mortal Kombat 11. I don't really think they should have done this, but I'm not going to complain because it's still a fantastic game. It plays great, it looks great, at least on PS5, but to me, it doesn't really feel like it warrants a $70 price tag, because I don't really think that they changed enough. It just seems like they added a new story mode and brought back other characters and added new fatalities and new stages, but the overall game engine, the mechanics, the fighting styles, the motion capture, all that, other than a couple new moves, seems very similar to the last game they came out with. That's only my personal opinion. But please leave yours in the comments if you agree or disagree with me on this. Is this Mortal Kombat starting to become similar to like Madden, where fortunately it doesn't come out every year. I give them credit that they took several years before they came out with this, but nonetheless it's starting to feel a little bit more like it's almost like a Madden, where they're just tweaking the characters, maybe adding in a new thing and a new story. At least they had a new story. My God, I think the Call of Duty ain't added nothing in a long time. And once again, don't get me into Madden. I don't want to talk about Madden. The maddening. It's insane. But the character roster, I think they made some good choices. A couple of them I kind of wish I would like to see someone else, but nonetheless, I think the characters in this are great. The DLC that's coming down the pipeline looks fairly decent, but once again, to me, even though this is a fantastic game, it plays great, it looks great, I love the story mode, I just can't help but sit here and say that this honestly feels like some sort of expanded DLC from the previous game that they rolled into a new game and thought, hey, it got so big, kind of like what they did with Uncharted, The Lost Legacy. Let's just come out with it as a new game and call it Mortal Kombat 1. What's that mean? Down the road, are they going to do this with Mortal Kombat 2 again? I mean, seriously, who knows? I think at this point, they're kind of painting themselves in a corner in terms of their story. It's getting so convoluted and crazy. I think some of the characters of the last game that aren't in this are kind of a disappointment that they don't return. But I understand why, because of the overall story and plot. But leave in the comments below what your personal feelings are on this. Do you agree or disagree with me on my review of Mortal Kombat 1? Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Like I said, leave lots of comments below. And remember, of course, here at Devil Dog Gaming, we always end our videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.